What is up, guys? It is Infinite Flight bringing you back to the Frontier Virtual Podcast, episode 12. We made it so far. It seems a million years since the last episode, and I really do apologize. Ever since we kind of went into hibernation mode, we've slacked off, and no pun intended. We have been getting a bit of our life back in us with the release of Global. And if you've been living under a rock and have no idea what Global is, we will educate you in just a little bit. Unfortunately, today, our co-host Matt was unable to join us. He has some previous commitments in this evening. So you'll just be hearing my lovely voice talking. I'm the whole reason for this podcast, besides Global, is to bring in a brand new staff member. I've had a lot of people over the months ask me, why do you only have 2 staff members? All these other VAs have 5 or 6 staff members. What is restricting you from bringing in staff members? My answer to that is too many staff members, not enough pilots. So I try to keep the staff as absolute bare minimum as I have to, just so that we don't have too much conflicting information. Time zones are easier to set up. All this stuff, it's a lot. But with the release of Global, we have been experiencing an influx of at least 1 to 2 pilots a day. Our routes have grown. Pilots are logging at least 2 flights a day now. I've seen some pilots log up to, I was just counting it recently, like 6 to 7 hours a day. There was this one guy logging up. So basically, we have a ton of people showing up. So that is the reason that I signed on to get a new staff member. I made a public call, and Drew, who you're going to be hearing later, I'm going to introduce him in a sec. He was absolutely amazing, and he stepped up. It's very daunting being a staff member here. There's a lot of responsibility. I expect a lot from my staff, so absolute kudos to him, and I hope he can stand the pressure. Anyways, this is the Frontier Virtual Podcast. You can find us outside of the podcast. You can find us on our website, Frontier Virtual Airlines, if.weebly.com. You'll hear some updates on that. You can find us on our Instagram page, at Frontier VA, where Matt is going to be uploading daily Instagram shots provided by myself and any other pilots who so choose. You can also find us on the Infinite Flight community forum. Just go to that search bar and type in Frontier Virtual Airlines. Click on the most updated forum, and you can find us there, all the information on Global and everything. And in this podcast, I hope to touch bases on Global. Without further ado, though, because I feel like I've talked your ears off already, let me introduce the man of the house himself, our newest staff member. I finally am referring to him as the baby staff, Drew. Welcome aboard, Drew.
Hey, what's going on, man?
Not much. I just got home from school, I was getting ready to hit that Cincinnati to Minneapolis flight in Global today because Matt's highly requesting that. So that's my end. How are you doing today?
I was doing pretty good. I was going to go to Dubai. I messed up with takeoff just now, and then I just said forget it. So I'm not doing that flight tonight.
Okay, sweet. And so...
Oh, well.
Let's just throw this out there, just off the bat. What's your favorite route you've done so far, just for anyone listening?
It's probably what I did yesterday. Salt Lake City to Jackson Hole. That was pretty nice. It was only like an hour, but the scenery was pretty good. I think that's my favorite route so far.
Okay, so not the giant transatlantic flights you do to Dubai and stuff.
No, because I just hit autopilot and go to bed for those. So
yeah, and it's not as fun. You don't get to enjoy the scenery as much. Although I am still planning on doing a Denver to Tokyo Narita flights within this week. So Drew, new staff member, I'm going to be asking you some forum provided questions and questions for myself. But first, I just want to start off. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Give us a little bit of your background. Talk about if you can remember that far back. How you started to join Frontier Virtual, what your aspirations were when you first joined, and if you saw yourself in the position you currently are, and what plans you have going forward.
Okay, so when I joined the community, I know I made a post about it on a thread, but I joined the community, it was like New Year's Eve, and and I was just looking at the community. I was like, that's cool. I wasn't really into the game, and then I found your thread. I don't remember what it was, like the event or something. And I'm like, that's cool. I'll join. And it just went up from there. I don't remember that much. I just remember joining. I mean, we were then, but now, you know, it kind of went down. But we're going back up. But
I did actually have to, very sadly, deactivate two of the original pilots who have been there since, I believe, the very first day. Two pilots recently went inactive, and it was one of the hardest things, having to hit that deactivate button, because if I just leave him around, you know, it's going to say to the other pilots, you know, oh, well, he's not going to be strict. He'll just let me stay. So I have to kind of present that, you know, I'm serious. If I say something, it's going to happen. Doesn't matter your status. So, but I get what you're saying. Back then, we did have a lot more activity. Without global, we kind of went downhill.
I think it's going to go back up, though, with a new update and everything. I mean, just now we've had, 5 or 6 people join in the past 2 or 3 days, so I guess that's good.
Mm-hmm. I know you don't know this, but we actually do have 4 more pilots heading inbound. I just approved their application, so you can expect some overtime work.
Nice. And then once Mike gets back from his trip, I think he'll be back to everything, so that'll be nice, too.
Yeah, it'll be nice having Mike back. It's been odd not having him around. I'm just gonna ask you this: what are your opinions on globals so far? We'll kind of steer away from the Frontier liveries. I know I've had a lot of requests to ask you what your favorite one is. I've had people from Slack message me, people on the forums message people. Let's just stick for at this point in time. What do you think of global? Does it live up to your expectations? And would you choose it? Would you come back to it if you had left and seen this update? Is it that big of an impact on you?
Definitely I would have came back. You know, it sucked waiting, you know, a year and a half or whatever. I made the jokes all the time, but, you know, I'm glad it's here. I definitely want to play more than, you know, earlier.
And would you say that this update has inspired you to commit more to Infinite Flight, or is it just like, you know, oh, I can go back and fly now?
Yeah, no, it's definitely, it can be like, oh, I can come back and do this, this, and this. There's so many things that I wanted to do, so many routes and everything. It's just exciting to see everything, you know, the new scenery, time. I think the time, real life time is probably one of my favorite features.
Oh, yes. I think my favorite feature is LNAV, because I cannot tell you how many times I've looked away from my screen and overshot that turn and like ended up halfway across the region before figuring it out. So I'm very happy with that. Anything else you wanted to add before I shoot some questions and make you feel like you're being interrogated?
Just interrogate me. I'm all about it.
All right, good to know. I usually start from the top of the comment section, kind of work my way down. For anyone listening in, I did post a forum question page, and I usually do that with every guest star. I did post it late because we didn't know we were actually doing this podcast until tonight, so I apologize for the late notice. But I'm going to start from the bottom of the page with the most recent question from Ryan Farrell. I don't know if he's an FVA pilot. I believe he's been interested. Very first question. Drew, how old are you?
19.
19. That's how old I am too. So we got some kinsmen there. The big question he wants answered is Frontier Virtual Airlines a top class VA in your opinion? And feel free to trash it. You know, it's all in good fun. So I don't take. A lot of people are like, you ask all these awkward questions. You ask, and then they give you weird answers. Do you ever feel embarrassed? No, I don't. I take things in good light, so feel free to answer completely honestly. Is it a top class, and why or why not?
Yeah. No, I mean, I love being here, especially with the new update. I think we'll be more active. I think we can push to the top. I know Delta's pretty big. And, I think we can compete with them. But no, it's great. I love being here.
Good. That's a relief for me. I was like sitting there like, oh, what's he going to say? All right. What is your current status and rank on FVA? And I know we haven't really dived into the seniority program. I've had people ask me that, but that's currently not something we're doing. But as to your status, what is your current status here, Drew?
I don't know. Where did you promote me to, like route manager, Slack manager, something like that?
Currently, you
We really talk about it, yeah.
yeah, we haven't really talked about it. I think I'd classify you as a Slack manager, and I classify you as that on our forum page. You're also kind of the pilot I rely heavily on when I need somebody to fly with pilots in the Slack, and it's just like, I'm in the middle of homework, I can't do it, or I'm in the middle of flying. So, because since Matt and Daniel recently left the simulator, I've been needing a staff member to help me out there. Good to know. So yeah, I guess this is you finding out what your rank is. LGA Spotter, top of the morning to you, sir. Thank you for the question. And Drew, your answer on this specific question depends very heavily on this. First question: Spirit or Frontier Airlines in real life?
In real life, I've never flown either of them, so that's a thing. I would love to fly both, but I'd probably go with Frontier, to be honest.
Good on you. Would you? At least I'm assuming these are all real world, but maybe he's talking about VA. But we'll hit the real world side. He didn't specify. Would you prefer to be a flight attendant or an air traffic controller if you had the option between the two?
An FA. I don't want to be ATC. I think that's too stressful. And I like, traveling. That'd be pretty cool. Travel around the country or whatever. Definitely FA.
And LGA Sparta's last question: why did you choose Frontier Virtual Airlines over all the other VAs that were present?
I mean, I kind of talked about it earlier. It was like I was looking on the forums, and I'm pretty sure that was the top thread or one of the top ones. So I just clicked that, applied, and then here we are.
And now you're a fully fledged staff member. A year later.
Oh yeah.
So much has changed. You got the power now. One of the three amigos that's literally his name there. So one of the three amigos asks, "How did you become a staff and why?" I think we kind of already talked about that.
Yeah, you were looking, and I said, "Hey, hire me," and you said, "Okay," and then here we are, 2 weeks later.
And to answer anybody's unasked questions, I am extremely against people coming up to me and asking, "Can I be a staff member?" That's just always a pet peeve. So to people asking now, you're like, "Oh, why did you choose Drew of all people?" Well, I chose him for a multitude of reasons. One of the biggest is that he's always active. I think even on the days when I was not active, he was always there with Mike. The two of them were flying in Infinite Flight when I was dealing with X-Plane. So that's a big one. Another one is he's dedicated and loyal to FVA from what I can see. And the final one, the big three, he's been with us forever. I don't believe it's for a full year, but I do believe it's coming close. You're one of the oldest pilots now. I just had to retire our oldest pilot last week, so that makes you that might make you the oldest pilot. So congrats, Drew.
Yeah, I don't know. When did Mike, or maybe Mike joined before me? I don't know, but me and Mike have been around.
Yeah, you two are.
A while.
Outside of myself and Matt, who have been here since day one, you as far as pilots, you two are definitely the oldest pilots. Nismo Kits asks, what did you like about Global? I know we kind of talked about if you liked Global. Now let's kind of flip that on the side. What aspects, going into detail here, do you appreciate about it that you didn't know you'd appreciate in the old version?
Well, I mean, LNAV, definitely. That's great. Flying everywhere, that's great. The new updated airports. Everything is, I like everything. I can't say I dislike it. The only thing I disliked was waiting for it.
That way.
But, yeah, everything, it's great.
Sadly, I think we lost Matt because of the wait, but you can't win them all. Balloon Chaser, we're going to end off on this guy's question, and then I'm going to pitch some at you, and then we're going to kind of close up this episode with a look into Global and how that's going to impact Frontier VA. But Balloon Chaser asks, what's your favorite Frontier VA route so far in Global?
It had to be, what was it, a couple of days ago when me and you flew to Dallas. That was pretty fun.
Denver to Dallas.
I think, that's my favorite so far.
Yeah, and for anyone tuning in, that is going to be our official event route. So make sure you sign up for that. That's one of my favorite routes too. I think my utmost favorite was Cancun, Mexico to Denver. Just absolute beautiful scenery down there in Mexico. But good to hear from Drew on that. Drew, Balloon Chaser also wants to know what can you bring to Frontier Virtual now that you're a staff member? What can you bring?
I hope we can get more people. I want to, make sure everyone's in line, make sure, troll spam, whatever, keep up activity, be on the podcast would be nice every once in a while. I don't know. We'll hope to just make it more of a closer family. Tight-knit family.
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe it.
No, you got it. You nailed it. If Matt can't make it anymore because of lack of interest and such, you may have to join me as the co-host. We'll see how that works out. And last question from the forums: what's your favorite Frontier animal? And yes, you can choose any of them, even the A318 if you so choose.
It's got to be Sheldon.
Sheldon
the sea turtle.
And explain why you picked that over the one that everybody's raving about, Hugh the Manatee, our green style livery. Why did you choose that Sheldon over him?
I mean, I like Hugh, but Sheldon, I don't know, something about a sea turtle. Sea turtles are pretty cool. I like sea turtles. And Hugh the Manatee, I mean, everyone's picking him.
I think that's the popular one because I remember I actually flew into DIA from Mexico, and there were two other non-VA related pilots, both in Hugh the Manatee, and I was in Alberta and Clipper, so thankfully I wasn't in Hugh, otherwise it would have been like Illuminati or something. Moving right in, thank you, Drew. We're going to keep you around. You can answer any of these questions or put in your input here. We're going to kind of touch bases before we close out on how global is going to impact FVA. Unfortunately, we are running low on time, so I will not be able to hit all of them, but what the ones I can hit, I will. If you've been living under a rock, then you will be figuring out for the first time that global has come out, and we have received 5 beautiful new animals to accompany our fleet. Hugh the Manatee, Colorado the Ram, Alberta and Clipper the polar bears, Sheldon the sea turtle. Oh shoot, who am I missing?
Ozzy the orca.
Ozzy the orca. How could I forget?
Can't forget, because that's Matt. That's Matt, yeah.
I know. He's gonna get me back for that. We've been putting them hard to work. If you go out onto the expert servers of the Global Pro on Training Server and Expert, you're going to see at least one of our pilots guaranteed. We have that many routes and flights happening. I can't go into too much detail on our routes simply because we have too many. You can find those on our Frontier Virtual Airlines website. Currently they are down, but they will be up very shortly as soon as we finish editing that website. In the meantime, you can always visit the Real World Frontier Airlines website. That route page is our route page. The A318...
Actually...
Yeah, go ahead.
Daniel in the Slack, he just said the routes page is now up. So the route page is up on the website. So have fun, everyone.
You guys got to see the golden moment. Head over there as soon as you finish this episode. Visit up our routes. Thank you, Daniel, for that. I was not even expecting it. Good work on him. Daniel is always working on something, and I feel so bad for putting him to so much work. And he has such a good attitude about it. So, hat off to you, Daniel. But yeah, a lot of people ask me if we're going to completely retire the A318 now that we have the A320. The answer is no. But we are retiring it from all routes, but Colorado Springs, in which it'll operate. I believe it's up to 5 routes out of there. So you will see A318 routes, but 99% of the time you're not. So we are going to be bidding goodbye to the iconic bird that literally was the only reason I was able to start FVA. So a salute to that animal as well. And you'll see that on rare occasions when somebody gets tired of the A320. Drew, have you flown in the A318 since Global came out?
Not yet. I haven't. The new liveries, it's just...
I know, they're just so eye-grabbing. I don't think anybody's touched Chloe the Poor Fawn since we got the new guys. Our website revisions... I did post a forum page about this. We have completely redone the website with global photos. We've updated our aircrafts, obviously including our new animals. We do have a new feature. Thanks so much to Daniel for this. He put it on the main homepage. You can now submit immediate feedback or questions on the website or anything, and you'll get a response guaranteed within 24 hours. If that response doesn't come in as we promise, benefits will be reaped from that. But hopefully we can get that responses out to you. We updated the homepage, the routes page, the staff, and the aircraft page, so everything should be almost done. A little side note here: I did tell people Frontier Virtual Expressways, the FVA subsidiary, is closed. I've actually received 5 applications for it, so I politely ask everybody, just don't worry about that. We'll get that back up. Drew, were you a part of FVE when it came out?
I think I think I was. I think I might have done like a couple of routes with it, but I mean, to be fair, we didn't do a whole lot with it anyway. It just kind of sat there, and it kind of, faded from existence.
That's exactly why I stopped. That's why I closed them down. It wasn't benefiting us. It wasn't doing anything to help us. But it's not completely eliminated, for anyone wondering. We are going to be publishing the route bidding process. It's going to begin on November 1st. Well, actually, October 31st, 11:59 Mountain Time is when the route bidding process is going to open. And basically what that's going to be is you're going to get to go into this form I provided. You are going to have to supply a password just to keep spamming from happening. But I'll pass those out pretty soon. And what you're going to do is you're just going to go in there and we're going to have the route page there, and you're going to pick every single route that you want to fly or that you plan to fly over the month of November. So it's month by month. So November 31st, or November 30th, I actually believe, at midnight, it's going to begin the route bidding process for December. So that's how it's going to work. You're going to go and you're going to bid every single flight that you want that I'm going to go in after, and I'm going to be like, somebody bid that before you, so I'm going to remove that from your list. A lot of people ask why I'm going to be doing this, like, why are you restricting us? I'm not restricting you. This is simply for FVA. You can go fly any route you want, but if you want to gain flight time, this is going to be what it's going to be. Anything you want to add, or Drew, any things you think might be beneficial in this process?
No, I think you got everything. I mean, it's going to be fun. It'll definitely, change the way how we fly and everything. But
yeah, I don't know if you remember. Do you remember the old way we used to count flight time?
No, I don't remember how to do that.
It was at least like 9 months ago was the last time I ever touched it. But it was just a document that had everybody's name, and then it had how many flight minutes, and then there was the option you could ask for how many hours you've flown. So every time somebody logged a flight, I don't even know if you remember this, but we used to have a channel that was logged flights, and every time you did a route, you'd go in there and in the Slack, and you'd log a flight. And then I would go in there the end of every week, and I would add up all the minutes for each person and publish them in the read-only chat. That was tedious, so I decided.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yep.
Okay. Somebody asked me if we were doing that again. No, I don't have the time nor the patience to do that anymore. So much an updated and much improved version. I believe we're running out of time here, so I'm just going to quick wrap up and say we are going to come back with another podcast episode talking about global, so you haven't heard the end of it. You will also get to hear more of Drew. I didn't tell this before, but I do plan on having him on for many more episodes if he's so willing. Nothing much else I can add.
I'm always down.
Good, because I'm going to need a backup co-host if Matt fails again. Anything you wanted to add, Drew, on global, FVA, anything before we close out here?
I think we're good for tonight. I think we got everything. I can't think of anything else to add, unless you can, but I think we're good.
Nope, I think we're good here too. Before I do close out, give the final speech, we are planning on having some special guest stars from the Infinite Flight Verbal ATC. So if you're interested in listening to that, go ahead and tune in to either the next episode or the one after. Thank you very much, Drew, for being a willing guest on this episode, and for just being an amazing staff member, being loyal, sticking with us through the hibernation. I know it must have been tempting, at least at some point, just to kind of give up on us, seeing as how inactive we were. But you are actually one of the big reasons that a lot of us stay motivated to keep going. So thank you very much.
Of course, that's what I'm here for.
That is definitely what you're here for. Thank you, ladies and lovely gentlemen, for tuning into the Frontier Virtual Podcast. My name's Infinite Flight. I've been your host. I was joined here by Drew, who's our newest staff member, was only recently crowned staff last week. He's going to be here as a Slack manager, so if you're going to sign up, make sure you hit him up and get to know him. Give him some good words, pats on the back. He's an awesome staff member. Thank you to Daniel, a.k.a. Technam2TA, who's in the background right now recording this episode for us. Dude, I never am able to tell you how much I appreciate the loyalty, dedication, and the times that you've been a mentor to me. Thank you so much, Daniel, back there. I got nothing more for you, so I'm going to let you go. This has been the FVACast. Please remain seated with your earphones in until this episode has come to a full and complete stop. You may then ask any comments you have in the comments section below. One of our friendly crew members will be pleased to assist you. This has been the FVAcast. Once more, final. We are going to be doing these episodes at least monthly. Thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you enjoy your day. This is the FVAcast saying peace out.
Bye.
I should just count out loud, just so we're all set. All right, and 3, 2, 1, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you very much. I'll see you guys all in the Slack. Peace out, guys.
Bye.